I really don't know what I'm doing. Is that okay? Can we just start off like, I really don't know what I'm doing? And I want to just be brutally honest with the fact that obviously I'm in a new space. Physically, I have manifested a really big move for me. I'm super happy about that, but spiritually, I'm also in a new space. I feel like I'm just in a space where I don't necessarily know, and I want to speak specifically to this channel because there are a lot of things I do know as far as like my talents, my gifts, different directions or different things I want to explore in my lifetime. However, specifically to this YouTube channel, I just want to be honest for a second and say, like, I really don't know where this is going. And I just want to take some time to kind of share that I have been on a spiritual journey. Okay. I grew up in Christianity, and back in 2017, crystals were my gateway. Crystals and quotes, okay? Those two things were my gateway into deepening my spirituality, learning about hoodoo, learning about ancestors, learning about astrology, and learning how to apply all those concepts and beliefs in real time. And then being able to share not only my experiences, my spiritual experiences and knowledge publicly, but also being able to accurately depict and predict things that the collective is going to be experiencing, and being able to really channel those downloads crystal clear from God, from source, but also from my spirit team. I don't know about you, but I don't think everything is like directly from source. You know, I definitely think that you kind of have like lower entities, whether it be your great grandmother or a great aunt or cousin that may be walking with you, and they say things a certain way. You know, they might be the ones that's like, you need to say this or you need to say it like this, and they have a little more attitude with it, versus sometimes when it's a download from source, it's just no BS. It's just crystal clear. It's just straight to the point. It's kind of hard to determine if you're speaking from an ancestral source or if you are channeling, you know, a very high entity such as God source, right? But the point of the matter is that I just think that spirituality is so simple but also so complex. And so I've tried to create a space where I can share those things publicly. And initially, I thought, okay, this is a lane that I'm passionate about and I think I can really help someone. So, yeah, let me try to put myself out there so that I can build a business or try to profit off of this lane, right? And I do still believe that's possible for me. However, I think that there's a misconception, whether that be people that have been following me for a while or people that are new. I think there's a misconception that like I am in a chokehold about having a spiritual business or having an astrological business where, you know, I can sell readings and stuff like that. I just want to be completely honest. That has never worked for me. In fact, selling stuff, period, has not worked for me because people see me as a source of competition. People are often jealous of me. So instead of seeing the quality of what I'm creating, seeing, I don't know how to say, but just instead of seeing my creation as valuable or seeing me as a resource, people often, they don't, it's like the way a lot of people have treated me, whether it be a fan base that follows me, or whether it's just people who they know about me or they ghost follow me or whatever it may be. It's kind of like people would rather steal from me than support me. People would rather go copy and paste my ideas, whatever I'm selling, whether it be clothes, readings, products, it doesn't matter. In my last video, I talked about healing rejection wounds a lot. And I have a lot of rejection wounds, mostly from relational issues, but I also have rejection wounds around people just blatantly ignoring me until everyone praises me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can remember experiences when I was in high school, and I still have this up on my other YouTube channel because I consider myself also an artist. So I have another YouTube channel that I've been working on trying to make more of a creative space. This is more my space where I get to vent. I get to talk about all the esoteric things that I can think of. I can do readings. I can just do all the spiritual things that I can think of here. I kind of created this space, and it's a little oppositional to the other space that I have, because the other space that I have, I view it as like more of a, I don't know, like it's just a totally different type of content. I'm not really talking, I'm not really doing too much explaining yet, but I just feel like as I build my content over there, maybe I will talk a little bit more on that channel. All that to say, I have a video up from when I participated in a high school fashion show. On the video, you can hear like so many people screaming, which they were screaming for a lot of the models that I chose, which were fellow students in the student body. A lot of them, they had a lot of friends in the audience, and you know, people were excited to see them, especially in a different light. Most times you're not seeing, you know, your classmates all glammed up or oiled up or their chest is out or whatever. So, you know, their friends and different people that knew them were just like, oh my God, that's you look so good or whatever on stage. But I can just remember how leading up to that fashion show, and this is back in high school, I remember people that were working in the fashion show with me, they would roll their eyes at me when I came to like dress rehearsals or meetings. There were people competing with me. There were people like saying I was doing the most when I was just asking a question about different parts of the fashion show so that I could properly align my ideas and plans with the parameters that they were trying to create the fashion show in. And these were my peers. These were my peers, okay? Some of these people also were my friends at the time. And so that really shows you, you know, we'll have to get into that another time. The thing that I'm trying to illustrate for you guys is that this is one example, a major memory that I have where I wasn't praised, I wasn't supported, I wasn't taken seriously until the entire auditorium, until the entire theater. And my high school was big. My high school has a very large theater audience. I don't know the proper word, but it has a large seating area. So until the entire audience was screaming because my clothes and my models and my whole part of the show was so good, nobody took me seriously. Nobody really supported me. Nobody was really uplifting me. My peers rolled their eyes at me. They were mean to me. They were competitive and positioned themselves against me. And it wasn't until after the show that my peers and other people saw not only my talent, but my heart. I never, ever wanted to compete with anyone. What I'm doing is never, ever stemming from a place of competition. And a lot of times when people haven't really met someone who's passionate, who's not mediocre, who has an ability to focus on something and really fall in love with whatever they're doing. When someone hasn't come across someone like that, they think it's a competition. They think that that person wants to compete with them. But a competition is a misalignment of focus. And I talked about this in the little thread I posted. I hope y'all read those because I spent a lot of time making these little cute threads, to give y'all a vibe and a mood to read these things with. But, it's some heavy messages in there. I don't really know what I'm doing. And part of the reason why I don't know what I'm doing is because I don't really have an audience that's mirroring back to me what they like or what they need or what they want from me. All I have is my passion, inspiration from source, and I have what I need to hear at the moment or what I need to say or get off my chest in the moment. That's all I have. I just want to be honest that I don't really know where this channel is going. I want to keep sharing the things that I share. And I will say over the years, I have kind of felt like maybe I rubbed other creators the wrong way. Maybe people felt like I was stealing from them or whatever. Certain interactions that I've had in spiritual spaces have caused me to kind of back up from certain topics. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna talk about astrology till I'm blue in the face, because I realized, hey, maybe that's not all my lane. I'll talk about it when I want to talk about it. But is my page gonna always be strictly astrology videos? No, because I can talk about other stuff. I can talk about myself. I can talk about my life. I can talk about what I'm going through. I can just strictly give advice that's not based on an astrological placement or event. Again, being rejected in astrological spaces or communities kind of taught me, hey, I don't have to over-identify with astrology. I don't have to over-identify with hoodoo, ancestors, tarot reading, or whatever it may be. I don't have to over-perform those things just to say that I have valuable insight. I have things that people can use. And even though I'm on the brink of turning 30 and I'm still relatively young, I still have lifetimes with the S of wisdom to offer to anybody, especially young women. And I think older women too. I think I can help young women and older women. I also think I can help young men too. There's some tea there. Hold up. Fierce is coming through saying helping young men. In my journey right now, I do attend a HBCU. So even though I am on the brink of 30, I am surrounded by a lot of people that are younger than me. Today, when I'm recording this, I had my first day of school. I've gotten to know a couple of different faces over time, and it's just been very interesting seeing how at first younger college students, they were, because I don't want to call them kids because they are kids, but they don't see themselves as kids. They think they're grown because they're in college or whatever. It's been interesting to see how they kind of have warmed up to me. And so this is I'm starting my final year at this institution. And I just think it's so interesting because I had my first day and I saw a couple of them and they were like, oh, hey. And they were genuinely so excited to see me. But I can remember some of the same faces. They were kind of skeptical of me and they kept themselves distant from me, even though we had a lot of classes together. And some people, I think some people thought, oh, she's annoying, she do too much or whatever. But it's no, I'm genuinely serious about my education. I'm not your age. I don't have time to play around. I'm a college dropout. I've done that playing already. I did it that way already. I'm serious right now. So I understand, to you I may look like I'm doing the most, but you don't understand. I may look like I'm your age. I'm not your age. And so I think once they got to know me and understood my perspective and why I am how I am, they actually appreciate me. Like, oh, we know she's almost, like, oh, she's a leader. We can look up to her. Oh, if she's don't understand something, we know she's gonna ask about it. We know she's gonna clarify information. Yada 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 yada, right? So it's kind of like, for some of the people, the students in the class, they kind of look at me as like a cool person now, right? Oh, she's cool. Oh, hey, whatever. And so I think that kind of developing those little tiny relationships is like heartwarming, but it also shows me the potential that I have to influence younger minds, and younger generations. And that really does interest me. And I had an older lady tell me before, I would be really good like working with kids. I'm a multifaceted individual, so I don't necessarily have a career plan, because I really want to fulfill my highest timeline and my highest purpose, okay, which is not a traditional career path. However, in order to survive in this world, you have to be multifaceted. You have to have more than one way of expressing your gifts and talents. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting on your hands and broke. And we ain't going to be doing that. I have been pursuing over the years a career in counseling, because through making videos like this, being on this spiritual journey and publicizing it, it has really made me develop a passion for counseling. Even in this field, I don't know how that career is going to manifest 100%. If you have all of these like inspirations and you don't necessarily know where all of them could lead, it's kind of like you just have to embrace the journey for what it is and just be present and like let everything unfold. You know what I'm saying? Also, I do have a very strong interest in holistic health, wellness, and again, spiritual teachings and practices. So I really am on a journey to figure out how I can use these different knowledges, these different technologies, these different teachings and beliefs to really manifest a career, whether that be entrepreneurial or not, really develop a practice that's not only healing but educational, that I can share with people. So again, that's just a little, FYI about me, where I've been, why I've been, how I've been. I don't know what I'm doing. And I started that conversation off about this channel. I have a gist. I ain't clueless. I've been making videos for years, okay? I've been pulling cards for years. I've been breaking down astrology for years. I've been channeling messages for years. And yeah, I got a small following off of it, but it hasn't done much for me financially. But what it has done is it helped me survive the toughest parts of my life so far. And so it wasn't really about getting validation or getting a monetary resource or exchange from an audience. It was really about my evolution, my own development, and my becoming. Yes, this is the magic mirror. Yes, I do talk about sidereal astrology. I will break down transits. I will do oracle or tarot card readings or cartomancy readings, whatever, because I got all of them, child. I'll channel spirit. I'll give advice. I'll chit chat about my life. But I can't really tell you where all this is going. I don't have a community yet. I don't have a large following yet. And it's been years that I've been making this type of content, and it's gotten to the point where I'm just comfortable with being a little lost and really being in this new space where, as you can see, I got a box right here in the corner that I still haven't unpacked. And I've been in my new place for about 2 weeks now. In being in this new space, I'm discovering once again, because, this has happened to me before, but I'm discovering once again that there's a really special thing about just dreaming and just kind of letting potential unfold, and kind of like just being present and then letting everything kind of come together in its own timing. I love to decorate. Love, love, love to decorate. I have been walking around my place like I have already a bunch of stuff from, previous living situations. Okay, I've talked about that in another video as well. But I have a bunch of stuff already. So it's not like my space is like completely void of decor. It's very much not. However, because I've expanded, I have room for more. So I've been walking around my place like, okay, what am I feeling? What's the vibe? Like, what do I envision here and here and here? And I've been kind of putting off filming, not just because I didn't feel like it, but because also I just feel like I wanted to just soak in the freshness and the newness of the space that I was in before like prematurely exposing it to other people. Because honestly, I don't know who's watching these videos. I have inklings sometimes about who's watching it, depending on the engagement or the responses that I get. You don't know who's looking at you. You don't know who's in your tea, in your Kool-Aid. You got to protect your peace of mind. You got to protect your vision. You got to protect your space. I've been talking a lot about Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So the moon can show us how to be comfortable in darkness. The moon can show us how to be comfortable with not being exposed or seen by everything and everybody. The moon can show us protection in darkness, right? And when you are manifesting something, when you are bringing something into fruition, when you are birthing something, right? I mean, not to be too literal or graphic, but when somebody in the delivery room, they not all up in between their legs, they don't got the camera all between their legs filming the baby coming out. You just see the baby when it's 1 month old or whatever, and you be like, oh, whatever, oh, okay, the baby's here. But sometimes in our journey, we're manifesting, and I'm going to use the word birthing to keep the analogy going. But we're in our birthing process, and we got the camera all up in between our spiritual legs, showing all the baby coming out. Nobody wants to see that process. The moon, the Cancer energy, the divine feminine energy shows us how to be comfortable in the unknown, in the darkness, and utilizing those things as a source of protection, inspiration, and creative power. If you're trying to create something, yes, you can take somebody on a step-by-step journey with you, and that's cool, but sometimes you really just need that peace, that quiet, that purity that comes with privacy. Yes, I have been putting off filming, recording new content here, But also, I'm just trying to get my space together and figure out how I want everything set up. So even in this video here, things will change over time. My setup may change. I may not have things set up like this in every single video because I'm still just adjusting. Child, you might not be adjusted till a month or 2 months or even 3 months or a whole season into this new space, this new environment, right? Wherever you are in your journey, I just want you to take this message in. It's okay to be lost. And when I say lost, I don't mean clueless. Because I ain't clueless. I'm not clueless. And I don't like clueless people. Even though I've met a bunch of them. It's okay to be lost. And when I say lost, I mean it's okay to not know. It's okay to not have it all figured out on day one. It's okay to just let things unfold because it will. Just like I told you, I haven't been recording. I wanted to sit in this fresh, pure energy and try to adjust and get more comfortable by myself. Sometimes you gotta close your spiritual legs. We don't need to see or take the camera out of the birthing, out the labor and delivery room spiritually. We don't need to see that part. Even today, I finally said, you know what? This is the day I'm going to sit down. I'm going to finally get some content out. And I have been looking around because I have to get a few furniture pieces as well for this new place. But as I've been looking around, I've been seeing different things that I really, really like and I really want to get. But some of these are big ticket items, so, I can't just go get everything at one time that I really want. But it popped into my head, oh, remember that giant beanbag you saw? Yeah, that's what you're going to film your videos on, starting off. That's going to be a part of your setup. That's what I was told this morning when I woke up. So I went and got the beanbag, and now I'm filming the video on the beanbag that I took a picture of probably a week ago. That's what I mean. Like, you have to be comfortable with not knowing how it's all gonna look, manifest, feel, sound, whatever. You just gotta get more comfortable with that process of not knowing. And you have to realize that a lot of times creation is done in the dark. Creation is done in the dark. Manifestation is done in the dark. So you have to be comfortable with not knowing in order to be comfortable with creative energy, in order to really get in touch with creative power, the divine feminine, and your ultimate manifestation abilities. If you're constantly showing off or showing every part of your process, or you're obsessively looking for answers, you're not giving your life and things around you time to reveal itself. I don't know where this channel's going. I don't know. But I'm thankful that I have this space to genuinely express myself. I'm thankful that I have reached the few followers that I have. And y'all have not clicked off my page, or whatever. Y'all stay here. Y'all just subscribe and y'all haven't left yet. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the people who were with me on Instagram. And when I deleted my Instagram 3 years ago, they followed me to Facebook, they followed me to Tumblr, they followed me to X, they followed me all the other places that I went, and they're still there. If you are here with me, I would appreciate if you did more. I would appreciate if you showed up more. I would appreciate if we could have a genuine interaction so that I can help you, because I know I can. You gotta show up for things to happen. I'm getting more comfortable with not knowing. I'm getting comfortable with just being present in every moment and letting things unfold. I'm getting more comfortable with the creation process. I'm getting more comfortable with the divine feminine that lives within me. And I hope you are too. So guys, we are still in eclipse season. So whenever you see this, I would definitely consider this a eclipse season message. Our last eclipse of 2026 is going to be a full moon in sidereal Aquarius. And Aquarius really represents the subconscious. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Aquarius also represents the unknown. Surprises and blessings are included in the unknown, in uncertainty, right? And so I hope that you receive this message and it helps you in that process of getting comfortable with the fact that you may not know how your story is going to progress or move forward or even end. Okay? You may not know the next step. You may not know as much as you think you do. And we talked about this a lot with Jupiter and Gemini throughout the past year, 2025 mostly. There's a plethora of messages you can find on my timeline about being open and realizing that you don't know everything. But this is another opportunity ending the month of August to even more so embrace that God just isn't finished with you yet. So if you're open to that journey, stick around with me. We're going to do it together, and I'll see you in the next video.